Hey guys, it's me, Miss Norris, and welcome to We Steam on Wednesdays, Wednesday. Every Wednesday in the month of October, I'm going to be presenting a story that is STEAM related. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Today's STEAM story is all about shapes. I will be reading the story The Greedy Triangle, and The Greedy Triangle was written in 1994 by Marilyn Burns and is illustrated by Gordon Silveria. If you're ready to hear the story, I'm ready to share it with you. Here we go. The Greedy Triangle. I'll get up close so you can see that triangle. He looks pretty nice to me. And inside the front cover, we have different shaped flowers growing, each with one side more than the last. All the way from the triangle all the way down to an almost round shape. The sides and angles are so small, you can't tell how many there are. The Greedy Triangle. The Greedy Triangle. Excuse me. Once there was a triangle that was, as most triangles are, always busy. The triangle spent its time holding up roofs, supporting bridges, making music in the symphony orchestra, catching the wind on sailboats, being slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. So that triangle has a pretty good life. Does some pretty good stuff. Holds up bridges and is the roofs of houses, slices of pie. The triangle's favorite thing, however, was to slip into place when people put their hands on their hips. That way I can always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. The triangle's friends liked hearing the news. So he gets in the corners of people's arms and listens to the news. And then he tells all of his other shape friends about it. And they like it. One day, the triangle began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the triangle went to see the local shapeshifter. How may I help you? The shapeshifter asked the triangle. If I had just one more side and one more angle, said the triangle, my life would be more interesting. Well, that's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the triangle into a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral means that it has 4 sides instead of 3. I wonder what other cool things you can do if you're a quadrilateral. We'll find out. Life changed in a wonderful way. The quadrilateral was happy with all the new things it could do. The quadrilateral could be a baseball diamond, or first, second, or third base. It could take a position on a checkerboard or chessboard. It could be a television screen, or a computer screen, or a movie screen. It could frame windows, or frame pictures, and much, much more. So that quadrilateral is finding lots of interesting things to do, and it thinks it's wonderful. The quadrilateral's favorite thing, however, was to be the pages of a book. I learned so many interesting stories that way, it said, which I can tell my friends. The quadrilateral's friends liked hearing the stories. So again, the quadrilateral has found its favorite thing to do, be a page of a book, and it shares all the stories with his shape friends. and they love it. But one day, the quadrilateral began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So, the quadrilateral went back to the shapeshifter. How may I help you now? The shapeshifter asked the quadrilateral. I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the quadrilateral, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the quadrilateral into a pentagon. So this is a pentagon. It has 5 sides. Where do you recognize the Pentagon from? I'll give you a second before we see what the Pentagon does now that he's a Pentagon. Life changed in a wonderful way. The Pentagon was happy with all the new things it could do. On a baseball diamond, the Pentagon could be home plate. It could be a section of a soccer ball, or appear inside whenever someone drew a 5-pointed star. The Pentagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the headquarters of the United States military near Washington, D.C. I hear all the top secrets that way, it said. It's too bad I can't tell them to my friends. The Pentagon's friends couldn't help feeling left out. So the Pentagon can do all kinds of new and exciting things. But now its shape friends are starting to feel left out because they can't hear all the secrets of the Pentagon. After a while, time seemed to pass slowly for the Pentagon, and it became dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So, the Pentagon went back to the shapeshifter. So you're here again, the shapeshifter said to the Pentagon. Now what would you like? I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the Pentagon, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. And poof! The shapeshifter turned the Pentagon into a hexagon. So the hexagon has 6 sides. And what do you think the hexagon will like to do now? I'll let you look at the shape for a second. Where do you recognize this shape from? We'll find out. Life changed again in a wonderful way. The hexagon was happy with all the new things it could do. The hexagon fit in as floor tiles in houses and patios, and fancy crackers at parties and picnics. It worked as the socket of certain bolts and the prongs of certain wrenches. The hexagon's favorite thing, however, was to be a cell in a beehive. I love watching the bees as they buzz in and out, it said. The hexagon spent so much time in the beehive, it was too busy to talk to its friends. The friends missed the hexagon and couldn't help feeling ignored. So the hexagon can do all kinds of cool things, but it likes to be in the beehive, and his friends are starting to feel ignored. That doesn't feel very good, does it? I wonder if the hexagon will realize Again and again, the shape became restless, dissatisfied, and unhappy with its life. Again and again, it returned to the shapeshifter for more sides and more angles. The shapeshifter agreed to turn it into one shape after another: a heptagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, and on and on. Finally, the shape had many, many sides and many, many angles. Its sides were so small that it had trouble keeping its balance. Its friends couldn't tell which side it was on and began to avoid the shape. So he kept becoming dissatisfied, and the shapeshifter kept changing him. And now it has so many sides that it doesn't have very good balance. And its friends don't know which side its face is on, and they started to avoid going near him. That's really sad. One day when the shape was going down a hill, it began to roll. Faster and faster it went, screeching around corners, crashing into fences and trees, colliding with bicycles and terrifying walkers. At last, the shape came to a stop. It felt tired and dizzy, lonely and sad. So the shape lost its balance and rolled down a hill into bicycles and people and trees and fences. It felt dizzy and sad and all alone. Enough, thought the shape. I don't know which side is up. I can't keep my balance. My friends don't want me around. The shape could no longer remember why it had been so unhappy as a triangle. Very carefully, it made its way back to the shapeshifter. Aren't you happy yet? The shapeshifter asked. I want to be a triangle again, said the shape. I'm not surprised, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the shape back into a triangle. So, after the shape's many different adventures as many different shapes, he couldn't remember why he didn't like being a triangle anymore and asked to be changed back. Look how happy he looks. The triangle was delighted to have its old shape back again and kept itself very busy. Once again, it held up roofs, supported bridges, made music in the symphony orchestra, caught the wind for sailboats, became slices of pie and halves of sandwiches. So he's back to his old self again. Very happy. Still, the triangle's favorite thing was to slip into place when people put their hands on their hips. That way I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Its friends liked hearing the news and were glad the triangle was back in shape again. The end. So they're all in the little opera box listening to the stories and news that the triangle can share again. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the story, The Greedy Triangle. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of the page. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. If you're not a subscriber yet, please click that subscribe button down at the bottom of the page. And don't forget to click the bell so that you're notified when there's new content. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday for We Steam on Wednesdays, where you'll hear another story all about science, technology, engineering, art, or math. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.